Hi, hello. Tonight is the one take on Hello, I'm beginning cycle 3 and delighted to do so. I have a new book to share with you in this cycle. It's called, let's see if I can get my hand off the cover, 100 Villanelles, 100 Blogatelles. What's a villanelle? I'd like to show you rather than define it. I'll just show you one. And as for a blogatelle, those are for people who buy the book. I don't know if I need to include them here. It adds a dimension to the experience, but perhaps not so great for recitation. A blogatelle is a hybrid of a blog with a bagatelle, which is a musical trifle. Here then is the first of the poems that I'd like to choose from this book. It's a villanelle. Tween poem and psychosis, I contend, and every day I live proclaims it true, the difference may be defined. A friend. Of happiness that never has to end or lead to madness, guardians are two, tween poem and psychosis, I contend. Entrust your love to one who will commend devoted faithfulness, nor soul eschew. The difference may be defined, a friend. Should comrade be a rival and contend in emulation, rift you still won't rue, tween poem and psychosis, I contend. Us pilgrims, wheresoever we may wend, with fortune, good or bad, will life endue. The difference may be defined, a friend. To earn our angel name that fate may lend, contrasted things we'll see, distinct our view. Tween poem and psychosis, I contend, the difference may be defined, a friend. You've noticed about the villanelle, it has refrains or recurring lines, and each of them recurs 4 times. So this is a challenge to you to create a kind of wisdom literature in which there are lines that deserve to be heard 4 times over. I accept this challenge. I have written 100 of such poems. Most poets, however, who've written distinguished villanelles have only written 1, like Dylan Thomas, Do Not Go Gently Into That Good Night. Here's today's villanelle. My life shows naught has higher claim to welcome, rightly understood. Be summoned by your secret name. From your unmanifest there came so far a merely partial good. My life shows naught has higher claim, your best potential yet to frame. If you'd but let it come, it would. Be summoned by your secret name. Chance may too soon your wildness tame, too softened make your hardihood. My life shows naught has higher claim than call to what you are. 'Tis blame when stunted thought says ought and should. Be summoned by your secret name. The seraph dwelt in heaven flame, alerted by the word he could. My life shows naught has higher claim. Be summoned by your secret name. Hi, tonight's theme could have been taken right out of the Ibn Arabi book, God the All-Imaginer. The theme is that you have a nature that is unmanifest. Your true core of being is not knowable, it's unfathomable, and it's unnameable. That means that you could have endless types of being potentials ready to arise in you at any time during the rest of your life, and you may be unaware of it. You're unaware of most of them most of the time, but they will come. And the attitude that you need to let them arise fully and be seen and felt and known is receptivity, welcoming, and readiness. What made the worlds unmanifest? The beings, each a metaphor, we less have known than yet we've guessed. 'Tis claimed that we're uniquely blessed in mirroring the unknown more. What made the worlds unmanifest? How know yourself? We fail the test. Our soul unshown by mortals' lore, we less have known than yet we've guessed. Through teachings of the East and West, mind seeks an ocean void of shore. What made the worlds unmanifest? With ignorance of depth confessed, in heart the darkness we restore. We less have known than yet we've guessed. Let dark, the overlight, speak best. Not silent then, the ocean's roar. What made the worlds unmanifest? We less have known than yet we've guessed. Carolyn Williams of 21 Live Tribe at American Real did us a big favor yesterday. She brought in a quote. If you find yourself in darkness, don't suppose you've been buried, but rather that you might have been planted. Now, the theme of night is very much like the theme of darkness. Many poets immediately gravitate toward the theme of death as soon as night is mentioned. Walt Whitman does that in many of his poems, especially when lilacs last in the dooryard bloomed. But night is not death or nullity or void or nothingness. It's intensely visual and vividly so, and it's filled with metaphoric meaning. And I would even advance the thesis that night might be one of the very best metaphors for our own unfathomable nature, our own unmanifest nature. That's what I try to develop here in this poem today. The quiet which at night will come means doubly much. 'Twill softly hold the depth it is emerging from. It is the nothing and the sum, a mercy to the thoughtful souled. The quiet which at night will come. 'Twill touch with muffled comfort hum a mind that in reply would mold the depth it is emerging from. My golden white chrysanthemum, blent solar heat and lunar cold, the quiet which at night will come. Perception keen, clear thinking, plumb with welcomed will, the yet untold, the depth it is emerging from. The surface breaking strength upswum knows height beyond the long enscrolled. The quiet which at night will come. The depth it is emerging from. In his wonderful contribution to Live Tribe 21 presentations yesterday, Jacob Moya made wonderful points about the need for no fear of darkness and the night. He described himself also as a channeler, and that's quite interesting because we all, I think, have to be, to some extent, channelers. New potentials for being arise from out the night, metaphorically speaking, from out the unknown of our unfathomable nature. And we have to be alert when they unannounced arrive, because we will need to be the channelers. For this reason, in today's villanelle, I took the word nil in order to show that night is not the nil, night is not a mere nothing, it is something vividly visual and positive. In order to take get justice out of the word for night, we should take the word nil and add to it the letter E, and then we see what it truly is. Night is the Nile. It is a river of riches. So now we're ready for this poem. The dark is not the nil at all. The naught one fears we cannot see, nor need the night our mind appall. We Nile unflowable may call, the nil unknowable no E. The dark is not the nil at all. It points beyond the knowledge wall that can't be passed by such as we, nor need the night our mind appall. 'Tis like the silence in a hall, where softness made of tone must be. The dark is not the nil at all. Through metaphor we death forestall, mere time's not quite eternity, nor need the night our mind appall. Slow time, still night, pure signs befall the seeker wanting imagery. The dark is not the nil at all, nor need the night our mind appall. A few years ago, I spent a month in Egypt at a desert settlement, a farm community called Sekhem, about an hour from Cairo, and I taught English there. And one of my students asked me one day, "What's your favorite part of the Quran?" And I said, "I like the part in Surah 73 where it says, 'Lo, the vigil of the night is a time when perception is more keen and speech more certain.'" I'm truly in love with the night. I feel this way each time it comes, and I have therefore written in today's poem a love song to the night. The night of quietude, my friend, the time of tranquil earth and cool, to her my heart do I commend. The air embrace I feel extend to shelter me from threat and duel. The night of quietude, my friend, the wealth of brisk and chill may spend, that freedom rise and dream world rule. To her my heart do I commend. The facts that proud we thought we kenned are glad outgrown and left at school. The night of quietude, my friend, declares I, willing wight, may wend beyond the daytime vestibule. To her my heart do I commend, the art realm thus to comprehend, where sundered sun becomes a jewel. The night of quietude, my friend, to her my heart do I commend. Tonight my theme is the motion of my rocking chair as coordinated with the movement of the tides and the feeling of deep breathing. I think all of these are related. In the blogatelle that went with this villanelle, I wrote, "I care about tidal motions with an intensity one may find unusual. The to and fro movement relates to the inhaling, exhaling of our breath. We only rose gradually out of the ocean and are still mainly composed of water, so we're tidally inclined from start to finish." Here's the poem. Coordinate each deep-drawn breath of air while watching cup-borne coffee rise and fall with back and forward movement of the chair. A tidal, mindful universe you there will find as by the water's quiet call. Coordinate each deep-drawn breath of air. A child on breast of mother resting fair must know in throat, heart, lung, the tide of all, with back then forward movement of the chair. Our breathings, rocking body movements bear of cradled creatures wrapped in water shawl. Coordinate each deep-drawn breath of air. While floats in plenilune the molten flare, one feels the moon might heft on large and small, with back then forward movement of the chair. Pray, blend with mine, dear friend, your silent prayer of thanks that we in depth can, heaven tall, coordinate each deep-drawn breath of air with back then forward movement of the chair. Hello, my theme this evening is not so much lofty as lowly, but it will allow me at the least to write a self-directed, therapeutic sermonette. The diabetic takes a daily test, as might a student in a well-run school. Behave yourself, see better, change to best. By scientific findings are we blessed. We have the pills, we're taught the helpful rule. The diabetic takes a daily test of scooping knowledge from the treasure chest, for it is there, and he is not a fool. Behave yourself, see better, change to best. Who eat high-protein bread will soon arrest the carbo harm and feel the vanished duel. The diabetic takes a daily test, and ever student on a learning quest, longevity might earn with finer fuel. Behave yourself, see better, change to best. Don't eat too much, but give the belly rest. Be disciplined, you'll ease both pee and stool. The diabetic takes a daily test. Behave yourself, see better, change to best. Hello, I would like to explore some aspects of a theme raised by Carolyn Williams yesterday. She talked about the delights of what she called just me being me. I like to discuss that too. I like to start out with that mentality and then explore some aspect of being alive. Give it an analysis, see what you think and feel about it. Here's the poem in which I do that. In this poem, I try to study what it feels like to have a face. Depict the moments from within. You'll know them more. Just now I felt to be alive. How fine that sense. I smiled and felt each muscle could their might explore. The eyes, I felt them brighten and delight outpour. The motions of the jaw were tightened, yet not tense. Depict the moments from within. You'll know them more. There can't be any ranking of the minutes, for they each contain united human elements. I smiled and felt each muscle could their might explore. It even seemed my ear holes widened, each a door to waken my awareness of a thought immense. Depict the moments from within. You'll know them more, then tell the world what you have learned. No hoarder or mere self-enclosed unfortunate, fear no expense. I smiled and felt each muscle could their might explore. How loved at length the possibility to soar, illumined in lore of heaven tune, descended thence. depict the moments from within. You'll know them more. I smiled and felt each muscle could their might explore. Tonight, my theme is to propose that we have a national holiday where everyone is encouraged to speak for the day in iambic pentameter, the rhythm that Shakespeare's characters like in all his plays. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, or you can have an extra syllable at the end. How would you like that? You'd start feeling like a Shakespeare character. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis better in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing and them. See what I mean? I wrote a villanelle to propose it. Conversing iamb and pentameter. Let's try it, friend, as in a Shakespeare play. Great game, who could decline? The mind's a whir. Hymn Queen Elizabeth, all praise to her. Diana, Ariana, Dryad, Faye. Conversing iamb and pentameter. I'll write the kind of sonnet she'd prefer. Proclaim Elizabethan holiday. Great game. Who could decline? The mind's a whir. We'll speak in meter. Sure, you can demur. Speak prose unless you boldly cry, hooray! Converse in iamb and pentameter. Participants might make a sign. We spur past time to reawake as versing may. Great game, who could decline? The mind's a whir. Sweet William, come alive, we can aver. The music that you made, youth's heart will sway. Converse in iamb and pentameter. Great game, who could decline? The mind's a whir. Friends, this evening, I'd like to call attention to a feature of the book I've been reading from. It's called 100 Villanelles, 100 Blogatelles. If you were to buy this book and you got nothing but villanelles, it would only be half as big and you'd only get half your money's worth. The fact is that the blogatelles are a whole lot of fun. And I'd like to show that tonight because I haven't yet read you a whole blogatelle to go with a sample villanelle, and now I'm going to do it. The villanelle that I will accompany with tonight's blogatelle is the one I read yesterday, proposing that we have a national holiday where everybody is encouraged to speak in iambic pentameter, the meter that pervades Shakespeare's plays. Now, I'm well aware some people may object to this, and I try to counter or forestall these objections in my blogatelle. So here we go. I'd hardly be surprised if people said, "You've gone bananas, bonkers, round the bend. That plan you're hawking, strictly Looney Tunes." Calm down, my friends, and try it out, all right? What topic would you like for starters, huh? The weather's good. Do February days that feel like springtime mean we'll pay a price in March that no one's even dreamt of yet? And oh, those eagles floating in the air. How wonderful to spot them coming back. They nearly went extinct in New York State. Of course, I grant they like to gather where some folks are raising chickens. Heard the news? The bus fare's cheap to Canada from here. Ha ha. But wait a minute. Did you see the EPAC play? 6 women took the stage and talked. Amazing what they talked about. Failed marriages, failed kidney, sadness, jokes. Louisiana ladies' hair salon. That's where they were. And Wheezy, she's the grump, made cracks you hoped you never would forget. The play? Oh, Steel Magnolias. Tell me, friend, you think we're starting a pentametrend? In tonight's poem, I want to talk about the shaman or shaman. He used to be called the medicine man. He is a healer. And what he does is this. He'll take a drum and he'll beat out a metrical rhythm. That will be the rhythm of the narrative word song. And meanwhile, the drum also becomes a horse, which is the horse of the hero. He is also the hero, you understand. And what he sings about with the help of the drum is what he is achieving with the help of the horse that's transporting him to heaven or the upper spheres, where he defeats the evil spirits. And on top of that, the victory, being a spiritual one as it is achieved in a religious story, for which reason we may call our poet, who is also a healer, our patient, who is also the curer, and the hero, our hero, generally speaking, in several realms. We can call him, likewise, in the religious realm, both prophet and priest. It's astonishing that a thing like this could be a feature of religions worldwide, but it happens. And I read about it in a book by Peg Weiss called Kandinsky and Old Russia, the Artist as Ethnographer and Shaman. Kandinsky claimed to have invented abstract art, but Peg Weiss finds a consistent glyph code of shaman-like symbols that detail the heroes and the poets, or in this case, painters' progress through the heavenly realms and his defeat of the evil demons. And now I think we're ready for our poem. The hero and the minstrel may unite, the actor and the chanter being one, if shaman on the drum steed should alight. To drumming horse, the spirit foe we fight, we'll shout, we voicing him on verse track run. The hero and the minstrel may unite, as we in dialogue can set things right by letting speakers dreamer hearing stun. If shaman on the drum steed should alight and guide the creature with his vocal might, he freely ravels out what fate had spun. The hero and the minstrel may unite, and glory verse warm passion thus requite, until the journey to the gods be done. If shaman on the drum steed should alight, no fetter keeps him from the heaven height. Oh, fierce the joy of conquest and of fun! The hero and the minstrel may unite, if shaman on the drum steed should alight. It's my special pleasure tonight to introduce my favorite medieval mystic Sufi poet, Rumi, who founded the whirling dervishes and who believed that the entire world of creatures was nothing but one vast, circling, rounding, dancing flame about the throne of God. We are the bundles of flaming energy that constitute the whirling circle of creation, dancing round its loving maker. But all is not pleasant in the round dance. When God asked the future beings in their pre-created forms within his mind whether they would accept the responsibility of stewardship, the trust of supervising his works, they all refused, save the future Adam or humankind. He said yes in chapter 7 of the Quran. But the Persian word for yes, if the accent is just a bit shifted from bala to bala, means affliction. The affirmation of responsibility will entail the endurance of affliction. So the dance is in large part an energetic struggle, and poets will love to hear this. Our art is a struggle, our struggle an art. And now we proceed immediately to the poem. When Rumi, vision wrapped in whirl of song, cried out, as if bestirred by olden Zoroaster fire, he poured the molten ore in lines that silent shout. He proved the truth he spoke by what he told about. We learned we're each a zarra, atom of desire. When Rumi, vision wrapped in whirl of song cried out, his face like Moses shone, admitting of no doubt, we're all a cosmic dance and universal choir. He poured the molten ore in lines that silent shout, our ancient trust and godly mission never flout. God asked if we to be his regents would aspire. When Rumi vision wrapped in whirl of song cried out, he added, glad we answered yes, but pride don't tout. Though Bada's, yes, Bada's affliction, harder, higher. He poured the molten ore in lines that silent shout, we strive and we advance, the lower eye we rout. We chant and dance and love the Lord and never tire. When Rumi, vision wrapped in whirl of song cried out, he poured the molten ore in lines that silent shout. Everyone who saw my presentation of yesterday night will immediately recall how much I love medieval Sufi mystical poet Rumi and his marvelous whirling dervishes. Now tonight I would like to address the same theme, but from a comic standpoint. This is quite an amusing presentation of the idea called Drunken Dervish by Nikolai Gumilyov, a marvelous Russian poet. Here I have translated in this book, Russia's World Traveler Poet, 8 collections by Nikolai Gumilyov. I have translated, as I say, 8 of his books, and he lived from 1886 to 1921, just a marvelous poet with a deep empathy for poems from Islamic cultures. Here we go with Drunken Dervish. In the cypresses are nightingales, the moon begins to shine. Little black stone, little white stone, I have drunk a lot of wine. Then my heart beat louder, for my bottle melody has made. All the world is friendly, smiling eyes ashine, the rest but shade. I've not come to love the cup boy just today or yesterday. Not today or yesterday have I been drunk and laid away. But the triumph of my knowledge is a thing I'll never trade. All the world is friendly, smiling eyes ashine, the rest but shade. I'm a wanderer, a loiterer, a wayward man as well. Everything I've ever learned I have forgot. It so befell, for a single rosy smile and one refrain, I am afraid. All the world is friendly, smiling eyes ashine, the rest but shade. Now I'm going to the graveyard where my friends are lying low. Need I be ashamed to ask the dead what they of love might know? Hear a skull proclaim a secret from the pit where he was laid. All the world is friendly, smiling eyes ashine, the rest but shade. In the moonlight rise the welling streams from out their misty lake. In the cypresses no melody the nightingales will make, save a single one who never sang before in darkened glade. All the world is friendly, smiling eyes ashine, the rest but shade. My fun theme today is humor, and the thesis I want to propound is that to be well adjusted, you have to be well adjusted. In an earlier poem, I once defined the human as the meeting place of humus, where we came from and where we're going, and humor, how we're transcending that. Now, in a medieval, I think it is anyway, it's a fairly old traditional German folk song, old enough to be in Latin and sung by students customarily at college. The idea of humor and humus is nicely brought together. I'll sing it for you. It's very short. Now translate the Latin into English too. Gaudeamus igitur juvenestum sumus, post iucundam juventutem, post molestam senectutem, nos habebit humus. Let us keep rejoicing then, while we yet are young, after passing gladsome youth, after age and pain, forsooth, into dust we are flung. And now here's my poem. My freedom will its rival not have bested, though strive it might to conquer stronger fate. To ardent heart let head be well adjusted. Should every aim stay mainly unmolested, calm compromise you may congratulate. My freedom will its rival not have bested, capacity by challenge rightly tested, advancing is enhancing, never wait. To ardent heart let head be well adjusted. Our human humors life invested, that change we welcoming might celebrate. My freedom will its rival not have bested, yet if I write, not merely having rested, mellifluent the lyric I'll create. To ardent heart let head be well adjusted. 'Tis requisite for pilgrim to have quested, attempting to attain a high estate. My freedom will its rival not have bested. To ardent heart let head be well adjusted. The marvel of the writing life unmarred I sing, not arms with Virgil, nor indeed to urge the worth of lyric rise, though hard, mere clever wit of deft Ulysses, barred from song, for that a minstrel he would need. The marvel of the writing life unmarred I praise, an aged parchment remnant, charred we prize if it be perfect prophet's screed. To urge the worth of lyric rise, though hard, a chant I raise. I treasure tablet shard, whereon a psalm of David we may read. The marvel of the writing life unmarred I lift to heaven. Let the soul have sparred in struggle, e'en defeated mind 'twill lead to urge the worth of lyric rise, though hard. Who follow light, their guide is northern starred. Exulting is exalting. Hearken, heed, the marvel of the writing life unmarred, to urge the worth of lyric rise, though hard. The theme of my poem today, which is to live in the realm of values inventively, to invent new values by the way you lead your life, as I do when I decided that it was a positive value to write a poem every day that I live. That's something a little bit new. This relates to the notion of taking charge of your life, being the captain of your ship, or the steersman, the helmsman, the one who settles what direction you go in. There's a famous saying along these lines: love of wisdom, the helmsman of life. Philosophia bioi kybernetes, or it's abbreviated Phi Beta Kappa. Okay, here's the poem. In value realms inventive be, both apt to teach and deft to learn. Grasp helm as captain steadily, preactive to transvalue, we a world may shape that love shall earn. In value realms inventive be, let eyes in you a scripture see, that can the sky enfold, not spurn. Grasp helm as captain steadily, the body and the spirit free of separation to discern. In value realms inventive be, in minutes live contentedly, while set for yonder aim to yearn. Grasp helm as captain steadily, be turned toward eternity, flame seraph-like to shine, not burn. In value realms inventive be, grasp helm as captain steadily. Tonight, my theme is the idea of spectrum or continuum. I think it helps you think. And in general, I'm recommending it for solving all kinds of, or answering all sorts of questions, which two-box category sets do not help with. For example, good, bad, right or wrong, yes or no, happy or sad. They don't help me as much as does the idea of a spectrum or a continuum. For example, human sexuality. This was discovered over a century ago by psychologists and widely held to be true, and I think it is quite essential for thought in my own life. If you take, let's say, homosexuality at one end of the spectrum and heterosexuality at the other, you will find that there are infinite gradations along the line, along the continuum, and that, moreover, at different times in your life, you may feel that you are at different places along the spectrum, or this may happen in different seasons of the year, or at different hours of the day. This, I think, is particularly likely if you have a lively poetic imagination. So, I wrote a poem on the spectrum as a tool of thought. A spectrum ethic, shall we state? From sick to well, continuum, guilt guileless, open road, no gates. We diagnose and estimate what data show when questions come. A spectrum ethic, shall we state? What lessons let us formulate depends on where we're heading from. Guilt guileless, open road, no gates. A child it pays not to berate, unknown whence budding thoughts have swum. A spectrum ethic, shall we state? Then don't condemn, be patient, wait. With big unknowns the mind goes numb. Guilt guileless, open road, no gates. Who love not self must others hate. In neighbor's heart glimpse halidom. A spectrum ethic, shall we state? Guilt guileless, open road, no gate. My theme tonight is names and identities. I refer to them in the plural because I think you're entitled to have several of each. You could have them simultaneously or in sequence. You're given a name when you're born, and it is attached thereafter, generally speaking, to your identity. But identity is really quite a tricky word. The Latin root of it is idem, meaning the same. To what extent, in what ways do you want to remain the same? Would you perhaps like to change? If you change in central or crucial ways, do you think you might like to have a new name to confirm a new identity? I never liked the name my parents gave me. I thought it was anomalous and therefore unpopular, and that's because I never met another boy named Martin. And when I finally met one in the 7th grade, a boy named Martin Fitzgerald, who'd come to live in our town from England somewhere, I thought, well, that just confirms my idea, I now call it my prejudice, that such a name as Martin is for foreigners only. It wasn't until I was in my 70s when a good friend pointed out to me one day, just as a casual remark, that the name Martin contains art right in the middle of it. I don't actually have to get a new name, I just have to get an interpretation of the old one, because that is now the center of my life, trying to be a master of word song, or more lately perhaps even a fourth period in my life where I am turning into a kind of actor as a dramatic reciter of my own productions. Well, in any case, I do think that, oh, and here's another thing. Scriptural tradition confirms the importance of identities. Let's think about Jacob. You remember, he wrestled with an angel, then he got a new name, Yisrael, referring to one who struggles with God. Very interesting. So that just sets me a nice example. I have written a poem on the topic, of course. Here we go. You need to change your name within. As Jacob Israel became, embraved initiative to win. You well might feel your vision spin, all objects altered, shaky frame. You need to change your name within, so doubt may finish, faith begin. Hark, therefore, to a heart-voiced aim, embraved initiative to win. Withdraw yourself, no chaos din, admit. Stay calm and free of blame. You need to change your name within. We're each to angel mind akin when given tidings to proclaim, embraved initiative to win. Flee Latin idem's evil grin. Identity don't keep the same. You need to change your name within, embraved initiative to win. Tonight's theme is a sparkling eye, and it takes me back to when I used to teach. Whenever there was a discussion and somebody would say something, and in someone else's eye, you would see a sudden spark. I was exhilarated. I wrote a poem that takes me back to that time. Each hint you in the shine of eye can see, of thankful hearer helping guide your aim, will teach you how to reach what you can be. Past judgment hinders thinking that could free. 'Tis from the sunrise that I hear my name. Each hint you in the shine of eye can see that tells your future saying, come to me, may well bespeak, unclamoring, what claim will teach you how to reach what you can be. We change more quickly than we think. The fee of learning this, relax, let go self-blame. Each hint you in the shine of eye can see, your spirit in a light will bathe, which we can only gain who give. Soft air aflame will teach you how to reach what you can be. Your name is calling. Sudden, startlingly, a starting point is viewed in higher frame. Each hint you in the shine of eye can see will teach you how to reach what you can be. This is my final contribution to the third cycle, number 21, And after I'm away for a few days, I will come back and start a new cycle, number 4, based on an entirely different book of mine. I'd like to just say, before giving you this last poem, that if you've enjoyed the music of these and the spirit of them and some of the suggestions, you might like to get the book. It's called 100 Villanelles, 100 Blogatelles, because on every page of this book, for example, here in tonight's poem, facing the poem, gotta learn this mirror psychology correctly, you have a blogatelle of explanatory material clearing up the meanings of individual words and phrases, some of which come from a variety of cultures. I can't do that in my short presentations here. I just want you to know those things are available. The main thing, though, is the spirit of it, and that will come from the poem itself. No notes needed. Spread wealth. The unaware can't ask for alms. In writer's blocked, blessed energy you'll plant. Inhaling songful power, the spirit calms. In words, play tabret, sackbut, trumpet, shawms. Hear deep in quiet. Be the hierophant. Spend wealth. The unaware can't ask for alms. Light scatter. They'll be nourished by your psalms. Hymn Waterbrook, whereafter hearts will pant. Inhaling songful power, the spirit calms. In courtyard of the Lord, the upright palms feel yet in eld the flowing sap not scant. Spend wealth. The unaware can't ask for alms. I fearless here, belying timid qualms, frenetic bassarid and coribant. Inhaling songful power, the spirit calms. Non-dualism is the tune of alms. The Yigdal is a dancing anthem chant. Spend wealth. The unaware can't ask for alms. Inhaling songful power, the spirit calms.